We do have 4 heritage conservation districts in the city of Markham. Markham Village, Unionville, Buttonville, and Thornhill. And this is just to show the type of populations that we're dealing with. So we have 660 or so properties in Markham Village in our heritage district, 269 in Unionville, 150 in Thornhill, 34 in Buttonville, for a population of about just over 1,100 properties. So designation enables the protection of the heritage of a district while at the same time allowing compatible new development. So guiding change so that it contributes to and does not negatively impact the district's unique character and heritage attributes. So it's not trying to prevent change, it's just saying how do you want change to happen in your community. So by the numbers in Ontario, there are a lot of heritage conservation districts. The Ontario Heritage Trust says there's currently about 110. Toronto has over 20 now. Ottawa has 17, Hamilton has 7, Markham, London, Kitchener, St. Catharines, we all have 4. And there are basically 4 in the waiting wings right now. And there's a lot of individual communities which have 1 or 2 heritage conservation districts as well. So what makes a heritage district a success? You can look at it from different perspectives, different roles of people in the community. Everybody from the local council to the affected property owners or the affected business owners. There's other groups in the communities. There's the community at large, the ones who are not affected by the Heritage Conservation District. And there's also your Municipal Heritage Committee, which has a role. So what I'm going to speak about is 11 different small topics. What makes a heritage district a success from our perspective. And that is understanding the purpose of a district, community support, having clear policy and guidelines, having policy alignment with your other policies in the municipality, efficient customer service and decision making, communications, celebration and recognition, financial incentives, leading by example, enforcement, and political support. So we'll start with understanding the mandate and objectives. It's really important that everyone in the community, especially the people who are in the Heritage District, understand what is being protected and what is the mandate of the district. And basically it all revolves around protecting the cultural heritage values, be they landscape, built heritage resources, other elements, streetscapes, vistas. Part of that understanding is minimizing the fear of what a heritage district is, but also managing unrealistic expectations of what a heritage district can do for you. Some people are scared that it's going to impact their property values, it's going to impact what they can do on their property, and usually that is a concern that has to be addressed in the community. It also is important to say what you can't achieve through a heritage conservation district and what you might lose, because it's not the panacea, it's not the answer to everything. But it's important to understand that a heritage district is not a static place where change is prohibited. It's not a museum-like village, and it's not frozen in time. And the responsibility for trying to achieve that in your community is everyone. All those groups that we looked at before, everyone has to come to that realization. The second one is community support. Successful heritage districts have district supporters. People have to see both a personal value and a community value in a heritage district. People from the personal perspective would look at what is the impact perhaps on their property values, on real estate transactions in the future. And then as a community benefit, what is the benefit of compatible development versus incompatible development? So those are some of the things. And here's a picture of people in Markham celebrating winning an award basically as a municipality because of our heritage conservation districts. Our council invited everyone back and said, let's have a celebration for all the work that you in the community do. All the heads of all the various nations, people who live in the districts. The OMB decision in 2005 basically says there's no requirement in the Heritage Act to obtain the support of the neighborhood before proceeding with a heritage district designation, nor is there any requirement to determine that there is any particular level of support before proceeding to pass a bylaw designating any area as a heritage conservation district. So the Heritage Act recognizes that the purpose of the Act is to protect the cultural heritage resources of the community, notwithstanding there not be any support in that community to protect those cultural heritage resources. But it is, in reality, important to have community supporters in your district who support and value what is in the district. So other aspects of community support is self-policing. Everyone plays by the same rules. Everyone understands that we're all in this together, that there are not special treatments for special people because Mr. Smith gives, $50,000 to the hospital board that he is treated any differently than Mr. Johnson, who just is a property owner. It's also really important to work with others, be they within your district or outside your district, such as BIAs, ratepayer groups, historical associations, festivals that may occur in your district. Working together within a common goal is really important to help a successful district. And you also, in your own community, have to find the right balance between public interest in heritage protection and private property rights. And it was alluded to earlier this morning, there's this whole balance of the invasion of private property rights versus the public good of what you want to achieve and what you want to protect in your community. So the responsibility is everyone again, but particularly property owners having some buy-in to the Heritage Conservation District, as well as community groups helping out and business organizations assisting in it. This one is really important from my perspective as a staff person in a heritage department. Having clear and concise policies and guidelines. If owners and applicants know what is expected of them, generally they will accommodate. They may not always agree with you, they may hate the policy, but it's so important they know what is the desirable outcome. Then they can fight at a council. Some of the worst district plans are the ones that are open-ended and don't provide any guidance. That's what we found. We had our first district plan in Markham Village was so subjective and open that depending on who was on the Municipal Heritage Committee, they interpreted it different ways. And the feedback we got in later periods when we went to places like Unionville and Buttonville was that be more prescriptive. Tell us exactly what you want. We may not agree with it, but at least we know what is the objective in the community that you want to try to achieve so that everyone is on a level playing field. So if necessary, I know you just created a heritage district, but like places where I come from, where we did our first one in 1986, it's important to clean up your Heritage Conservation District plan if it's not clear. Just an example, it's always important to have a district plan. Before 2005, you didn't have to have a Heritage District plan. You could create heritage districts in Ontario without having a district plan. It is, since 2005, the Ontario government has recognized the importance of having a clear policy guideline. Another important aspect is consistency in application of policy decisions. It is so important to be consistent and not deviate from depending either on who it is or what property it is. And you should avoid personal taste and subjectivity. Decisions should be based on approved, accepted heritage policy. The responsibility basically for that is council setting the template, staff and the Markham Heritage Committee, or sorry, the Municipal Heritage Committee implementing that. Policy alignment is also very important. You say, well, what is policy alignment? That means your policy documents outside of the sphere of the Heritage District Plan should not conflict with each other. They should work together to achieve your desired results. So you have to ensure that your official plan policies, or if there's a secondary plan, or your zoning bylaws are compatible with and support your Heritage District Plan. Does your sign bylaw support your Heritage District Plan? Are there other bylaws in your municipality that are conflicting with it? I've seen plans where a heritage district says, you know, the maximum height in this heritage area will be 2 stories or 1.5 stories. The zoning bylaw allows 4 stories. Then you have this conflict between what the zoning bylaw permits, perhaps what a policy in your official plan might permit, and the heritage district plan. So there should be policy alignment. Again, the responsibility lies at the foot of council, staff, and your heritage committee. Efficient customer service and decision making. Time is money with everybody, no matter whether you're in a heritage district or not. So your decision should be timely and obviously fair. Delegation of review is one way that can be achieved. Previously, before 2005, almost every decision in a heritage district had to go to council. The Heritage Act now allows delegation to occur to either a named staff person or it could be delegated down to your municipal heritage committee. So that allows people to do changes to their property and not have to wait 30 days or 60 days or whatever it is in the process. Also, it's really important to have staff support for a heritage conservation district to function successfully because there's increased complexity with the legislation and just with the processing. You also have to acknowledge as a community that district administration is another layer of approvals and that this will have an impact on either staff or volunteer resources. Somebody has to make those approvals. Good communications is always important. People are human and they occasionally forget. They may forget they're in a heritage district. You have to engage them. They have to be reminded that district status brings obligations as well as benefits. To provide accessible information, make it easy for the person to comply with what you're asking them to comply with. And that can be done in a number of different ways. Resources can be provided, materials. If you're asking people to install wooden shutters on their houses, tell them where they can get wooden shutters. If you're telling them that you have to do a certain brick treatment, as was alluded earlier, that maybe you could tell them, keep a reference library where you can get that type of material, where you can find the guy that will do a certain type of work on your house. You can also use newsletters, blogs, heritage websites, entry signage in your community, helpful brochures, special events that you may hold on window restoration, perhaps for the people who happen to live in heritage areas, or other workshops on topics of interest. And that can be coordinated through your municipal heritage committee or your council. In Markham, we have extensive information on our heritage resources on the website. All of our heritage district plans are on our website, so people don't have to purchase them. They just click on them and they can download them at home or just read them at home. We have a whole series of information brochures called Heritage Matters in Markham, and it's a number of topics which are of interest to people, both in our heritage districts and if they're individually designated. We have a heritage district newsletter. We remind people twice a year, you are in a heritage district and here's some of the good things that are happening in the heritage district. We have entry signage to remind people every time they come in and out, you're in a heritage district. Our street name signs all say you're in a heritage district. Festivals and special event signs in various heritage districts, be it Niagara-on-the-Lake or Markham, tell you you're in a heritage district. It's constantly reminding people you're in a special area within our municipality. Another important thing is celebration and recognition. So it's commemoration and celebration of the district through interpretive activities or events, and recognition and celebration of excellence, whether it's individuals in the district or projects which they have undertaken. The Municipal Heritage Committee can have a role in this, council and community groups. It's really important to tell people when they've done a good job and to celebrate the success on their individual properties. So you can have things like awards of excellence programs on an annual or every 2 years, give out awards, tell people they've done a wonderful addition to their house, they've restored their storefront beautifully, they've worked with the Heritage Committee. We have a plaque series called the Markham Remember Plaque Series. When we work with developers, we always get a plaque out of it. And they pay for the plaque, we provide the text, and they're all over the community now. I think we probably have close to 60 or 70 plaques. So Doors Open is another program which a lot of municipalities undertake to highlight their heritage, whether it be in a district or whether it be an individual property. These are Happy Interpretive Plaque Program people in Markham Village. This was generated by a person in the district. We didn't create this at all. This was people in the district created. They said we want to recognize our own individual properties. They created a program, and this is the first slew of people getting these plaques. The city or the town should lead by example. You should walk the talk. This is generated to the political masters of the municipality and the staff. It's important to retain, maintain, and restore civic resources, so the burden is not just on the private sector, it's also on the public sector. It's important that the municipality also comply with the policies which are in the district plan. It's important to not only invest in the district, whether that be through public works or through streetscape improvements. We in Markham know that we've had great success when our municipality has invested in streetscape. It brings life back to the community. We just did a totally new streetscape for Markham Village, spent over $6 million on it. And amazing the amount of redevelopment and people who are interested in providing further investment in the community just because we did an amazing streetscape. Financial incentives are also important. And these would be financial incentives which assist property owners. Sharing the heritage burden, given that the community benefits by preserving heritage resources or heritage areas. The Ontario Heritage Act in Section 39 and 45 allows granting of providing grants or loans to individuals, basically for the cost of alteration of such properties with any terms and conditions that the municipality may wish to impose. So municipalities can create loan programs, grant programs, facade improvement programs. You have a community improvement program in your municipality. Municipality can waive certain fees if they want to assist in people in heritage conservation districts. They can provide front-of-the-line service that you go to the front as opposed to at the back of the line. Through the Municipal Act, you can offer property tax reductions to people who have heritage property. Again, the responsibility behind that would be council providing incentives to the municipality. Enforcement is also what I consider to be one of the factors which is what makes a successful heritage district. You should utilize the enforcement provisions of the Ontario Heritage Act when necessary. And basically, when people do something that's contrary to your district plan, they should be prosecuted. And this is really to honor and respect those in the community who do comply with the policy and support the district's objectives. Because most municipalities will have like anywhere between 95 and 98% compliance with what you've asked them to do. And there's always 2 to 3% who will not do that. And it's not fair to the whole vast community who are complying and who are doing the right thing and who have bought in to not further prosecute or go against those who do something that's inappropriate and have not seek permission to do it or have done it contrary to their approvals. And the last one is political support. You can have the best policies in the world, but if your political masters are not willing to support the policy in their decision making, then the district will suffer. The onus in Ontario, and this is just to this gentleman's question, is on the municipality or the local council to protect the identified cultural heritage resources or the areas within its municipality. So it leaves it up to each individual municipality in Ontario to determine how you want to preserve your heritage, what policies you want to impose upon a heritage district or on an individually designated building. So the responsibility again is both council and property owners putting political pressure on their council to support the heritage district. So you ensure political support by demonstrating that the recommendations and decisions which you as a community make through your municipal heritage committee are reasonable and they're supported by any policy that's been adopted. And you should remind decision makers of the extensive public consultation that usually went into the creating of the district in the first place. And that is the responsibility of your heritage committee, staff, owners, and community organizations. So these 11 things, based on our experience in Markham, are what makes a heritage district a success. Understanding the purpose so that everyone's on the same page and that there's no unrealistic expectations. Having a good degree of community support. Having clear policy and guidelines. Policy alignment, other policies, again, that they all work together, they achieve what you want them to achieve. That you have efficient customer service and decision making, that people are excessively burdened just because they have the pleasure of living in a heritage district. Because we always have this issue in Markham. They just have to get a building permit to put an addition on their house. That's all they have to do is visit the building department. In Markham, they have to go through site plan approval to get the addition. They're reviewed by our engineering department, our urban design department. They have additional costs associated with it. So they have an additional burden. So if you're going to put a burden on people, at least make your decision quickly if you can and provide efficient customer service. Communications, as we mentioned, is so important. You can't just create a policy document, a heritage district plan, and let it sit on the shelf. You have to keep getting out there and reminding people about it through signage, through newsletters, through other things. Remind them they are in a heritage district. Celebration and recognition are important. Celebrate what's good, all the good things that have happened, all the good investments. Recognize those who have done a good job. Offer financial incentives if you are able in your municipality to help them do that good job. Municipality should lead by example and should follow all the rules that any private person would have to follow. Use enforcement when necessary, and ensure that your political support stays high, that you elect the right people that are going to support what you want them to support in a heritage area or in a heritage district. But in the end, what makes a successful heritage district is when people see results. You know, you can say all these things, but until something happens, they're not going to think it's successful. So that's when you have a heritage resource that is failing. Because you have a heritage district, it's not demolished, it's restored, and it becomes a useful building back in the community again. That's because you see results when the rear additions to your heritage buildings are compatible in scale, massing, windows, colors, those things. You see results when you have compatible new development in your residential areas. These are all new infill, whether they're townhouses or individual property owners. Or there's compatible new commercial development, whether it's grocery stores or in your downtown core areas. Enhanced streetscapes, complementary signage. So good luck in making your heritage district a success in the future. And thank you.